This is a about 4 acres of sorghum Sudangrass. Sprayed it probably a week ago with 2,4-D Pasture Pro, same stuff we spray our pastures with. And as you can see, it's pretty ugly. This is a cow wintering calving yard, and so a lot of compaction. I'm walking just down the one of the worst parts, just to keep out of the dew. This was tilled with our magic tooling machine, our chisel plow slash whatever you want to call it, field cultivator. But also it's the same thing that we used on our corn. And you can see that is even. There's a spot right in there. That is an old fence row. And then you get into the waterways. But that was a fence row that we pulled out late and didn't quite get all the sod buried. But it's a function. This is a function of compaction and not having the right tool. And this is also where we feed the crap out of them. So win some, lose some. Because you get down the bottom and it's a lot more even. This was drilled with the grain drill. We put, I want to say about 20 pounds the acre, 25 pounds the acre. They're drilled in 7-inch rows. And problem in Iowa is for summer annuals like this is moisture and weed pressure. We get a lot of weeds, and then sometimes we don't get a lot of rain in July. I forget when this was planted. It's probably on a video. But this stuff is actually, when I sprayed this less than 10 days ago, it's tripled in height. Because the four-wheeler ran through it easy. It was just basically up to the wheels on a four-wheeler. And this stuff is probably pushing, well, the tall stuff is probably 5 feet tall. The short stuff is even pretty tall. And so I don't like checking crops in the morning because it's already burning off, but it's end up with wet pants. But anyway, but this is sorghum Sudangrass. It does look like corn, very spindly, drought kind of very crappy corn. So anybody that raises corn, you know what your junky corn looks like, or drought corn, or stuff that's on in a compacted area. That's kind of what sorghum Sudangrass looks like. This stuff, I'm not sure. We'll probably end up grazing it off. We could chop it for silage or bale it for hay. The problem is these stems are the size of your finger. And so you'll never get them to dry out, especially in the hot, humid weather. Why did we plant sorghum? We planted millet last year and sorghum. Millet just didn't yield. It grew. I got some millet in one of my garden areas, and it's really good. But it's just millet is just kind of a finer sorghum Sudangrass type of deal, unless you get into some other varieties. But the pearl millet that we have kind of just basically looks like this. But overall, that's a lot of good feed for a cow yard that would otherwise be growing up in weeds. And we only sprayed it once. I ran over it twice with our tillage tool. You can see there's dead stuff. And that was just applied at whatever the recommended middle rate is, not a overdose, not a low dose, but just kind of the middle one. If I hit a heavy spot, I kind of slowed down. But yeah, this is a lot of feed for a dirt yard. Why sorghum Sudangrass instead of corn? Because the cows didn't leave out of here until June. So it's getting too late to plant corn. I suppose you could plant corn and graze it off too, but sorghum is cheap. Sudangrass, sorghum Sudangrass, it's not straight sorghum, so I won't confuse people, but it's looking good. It's probably ready to actually graze. We might actually do, that's one of the reasons I came up here, is just to see what, might turn the cows in here because they need to kind of go through here to go somewhere else, to another pasture. So we might turn them up here. It is tall enough to graze. As you can see, calf sheds and bale rings are buried in it. Then we're gonna put winter rye in here after this, and we might just have them graze this to the ground instead of worrying about regrowth. Because the regrowth will be ready about frost time, and that's when you get into some issues of prussic acid poisoning and stuff, and we don't need to deal with that. But this is a very cheap way to convert your where you winter cows into something productive. So my weed control, I'd say, is good. Of course, we ain't gonna spray it now because you ain't gonna be able to get to the ground. Because there's some lamb's quarter coming again. But all in all, that looks pretty good. So there's a corn video before this. On this will be the sorghum Sudangrass, and then I'm gonna go show you another video. The next video will be some other stuff where there is weeds. But so keep watching them all in order, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.